Welcome to the show. I'm Antisocial. And this is the Antisocial Network.
I want to talk to her, but my face is up against the wall. Yeah, I think she wants to talk to me, but I'm antisociable. Yeah. Sociable.
This week, I'm talking with my friends Hez Griffin and Ryan McMichael about Britney Spears' Instagram and our favorite Britney conspiracy theories. Thanks for tuning in. Hey y'all, it's been a while since I uploaded a stereo talk here, so I figured I'd give my listeners a little nugget from a convo I had a couple weeks ago with Ryan McMichael and Hez Griffin. The Stereo app is a live streaming audio platform similar to Clubhouse, but as my friend Hez says, Stereo is a little less mainstream and more like for the kids that smoked under the bleachers in high school. I met Ryan and Hez on Stereo, and they're both super talented folks. Hez is a retired musician turned vegan chef who abandoned her rock star lifestyle for motherhood. Ryan is a professional sommelier turned wannabe rock star who recently released his first album, Kin, and launched a music label under the name None Mothers. Find them on the Stereo app or follow them on Instagram at Ryan_Scott_McMichael and Hez_Griffin. A little disclaimer before we get started that all three of us support Britney Spears, want to see an end to her conservatorship, and do not intend to malign Britney in any way. After this conversation went live, Hez even backtracked a bit on her mole theory. So all of that to say, the following is conjecture and just in fun. We take Britney's freedom and disability rights very seriously, and we think it's extremely important to shed light on what is clearly a very abusive situation. Nothing we say and no conspiracy theories that are posed negates the fact that Britney Spears deserves bodily autonomy and her rights restored. Now, on to the show.
Hello.
All right. Oh, no has, huh?
I just talked to her in text 3 minutes ago, so I know she's coming. She's just late.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
Here she comes.
Oh, here she comes. Watch out, boy. She'll chew you up.
Welcome.
Hey, good to be here.
Yes. It's like old times, you guys. Old times.
Yes, very old times. Is Ryan here? Or is he?
Hey.
Yeah, he was the first
one. Hey, how
All
are
eyes
you?
on me in Cinderella ring just like a circus.
All right. So Hez.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm so good. So good. I've been prepping. I've been waiting for this conversation for a fucking long time.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, Ryan, I'm so glad
baby.
I'm so glad we brought Hez on because every time I would talk to her about Britney, she had all of these insights, and I was like, she's got to be a part of this conversation. She's going to bring stuff to the table we didn't even think about.
Thank you, Auntie. I'm honored.
You know what I'm excited for? I'm excited to know very little about this and to learn. I'm excited to learn about it because I don't know. I think I generally take up too much of the airwaves on this thing, and it'll be nice to I get to shut up for a while. That'll be great.
Well, really, I just have conspiracies. I have questions. It's Britney.
Well, and also, I think Ryan knows more than he says because he does know quite a bit about the conservatorship. He might not have.
He always starts off that way, and then he dominates. You know,
right?
It's his MO.
I think that's his way of saying I was never a Britney fan. I didn't listen to her music. But if you want to ask me legal questions about a conservatorship, I got you because it seems like he does. He has that answer. And
absolutely.
So I honestly was never a Britney music fan. I never disliked Britney, but like I just
Right.
was too, like alternate chick to be into a pop,
Same.
a
She's
pop
like my
singer.
dirty little secret. Like I remember being drunk at a gig once and going, and I admitted that like I loved Britney, and then the whole table started singing Britney Spears. So she has this effect, this kind of overseeing thing. Because me too, I was not into. I never bought a record, nothing, but I
Yeah, but
am a fan.
you can't not know her songs.
You
Something
can't.
comes on in the and I remember as much as I didn't listen to Britney. I had two really close friends that I hung out with all the time, and for whatever reason, like one of them was fucking obsessed with Crazy, and she would play Crazy, like we would listen to Crazy all the time on repeat. And I think for me, part of the reason I was like it's okay to like this song is because Melissa Joan Hart was in the music video, and I liked Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and I also
Right.
liked Clarissa Explains It All. So I was like, well, if Melissa Joan Hart thinks Britney's cool, then I guess she's all right.
Well, that's the thing.
But
Britney's
also,
just always been cool.
I don't know. But back to Britney.
Back to.
I got more into
I need
Britney
a disclaimer
in
though.
recent years.
Wait, off the top, I need a disclaimer. Any talk of crazy, any talk of mental illness, any talk of that, we're just being light here. We're talking about Britney. We're talking about sus things on her IG. We're talking about, right? Like, I don't want it to come across like insultative, if indeed it is Britney, and if indeed something really sad is going on. Right?
I don't want this to come off like this is going to devolve into armchair
But it will.
diagnosis.
No.
It will. But I mean, just for the record to put it out there, I like Britney. I don't.
Yeah.
I think that she should be free. I will probably allude to things about her mental health and her like being neurodivergent or whatever. But just for the record, I fucking love Britney. I think she should be free. The reason I got connected to Britney in the recent years is because I have a tumultuous, weird power dynamic relationship with my own parents.
Right.
So I really relate to like her feeling like she's an adult who's fucking stuck.
And you can see how that slope could happen really, really quickly, right? Like it's a slippery one.
Yeah, and so because of that, I only started following Britney's Instagram in the last 6 months, maybe. So I don't have a lot to compare her to. Is you know what I'm saying? Like I only really started looking at her Instagram once she got this new attorney a couple weeks ago. So I don't have a lot of back content to compare to. And since I'm not a previous Britney fan, it took me a while to realize that some shit seemed weird to me. You know what I mean? Like with the voice that I was talking about.
Well, and I mentioned things to you. I remember like a couple of months ago, and you were like, yeah, but whatever. And I'm like, no, dude, you've got to look. Like this is
right.
Not
that's what
right.
I'm saying. The first time you brought up to me that her Instagram was weird, I had only really been following her for a couple weeks at that point. So I was just like, yeah, but whatever, like Britney's weird. But now that I'm like kind of compulsively checking her page,
it's addicting.
First thing that just to dive right in, the first thing for me that I started to think this is weird was she in the past week she's posted a couple of videos. The one, if you guys are familiar with her Instagram, she posted one where it starts with her in a red bikini on a lawn chair.
Okay,
and
I have
she's
my
like,
notes on that.
okay, guys, I know you know my situation, but I'm just going to answer some questions. And then she goes in, and then it cuts to a new clip of her standing up, answering weird-ass questions. But she keeps doing this weird lip smacking that is so exaggerated. My first reaction was, okay, she's acting. She's got to be trolling her audience right now. Nobody talks like that. Like, nobody does that. But then I read the comments, and nobody is having the same reaction I am. Either those comments are getting deleted or nobody else is saying.
They do get deleted because I'm a deep diver in that IG. I have to admit I blame the lockdown, but whatever. You'll see the top comments, the verified comments, friends. It always kind of disturbs me that a Paris Hilton will go, "Love you, babes," when
Miley Cyrus the other day on the post where she was locked in the bathroom, Miley Cyrus verified account commented, "They really did free Britney," and I'm like, that's kind of tasteless, Miley.
Exactly. Like I feel like the Mileys and the Paris know what I suspect, and that's not Britney. Okay, but I'm going to just touch on that quickly before we really dive in. But that's why they're so that's why they're so nonchalant about it. That doesn't make sense. That's actually a bitch move by Miley's verified
I
account.
agree. And
Right.
I commented.
But that doesn't sound like Miley. She very much cares about mental illness and advocating for people and blah. It's sus. It's sus.
Do you think that there's different like social media managers behind these checkmarked accounts that are kind of like trolling us by commenting to each other? Is that what you're like? It's not really Miley, but
right, of course, yeah, it's not Miley. And if sometimes it is, you can tell the difference. That's how deep I go. But you can tell that maybe they're there. No star of those calibers run their own IGs, like zero,
okay.
Right?
One of the comments you mentioned though about thinking that it might not be her was you said all of her videos are filmed from a high angle.
Okay.
And I thought,
okay,
yeah,
so
but
let's get into. Okay.
If you've ever looked up how to take a good selfie, they say film from a high angle. So, I mean, what about that makes you think it's not her that could be filming?
Okay, here we go. So she does the high angle. She only does the high angle though, right? All the time. It's very.
Do you think it's because she's actually taller than the real Britney?
No, I actually think the real Britney's taller. That's a whole nother thing. Okay, so the thing when you're trying to do faces, because I understand well how plastic surgery works, right? And when you're looking at faces, the tell signs are ears, necks. So you don't look at the face, right? You look at the ear, you look at the neck, you look at the spaces between things, okay? So Britney continually for ages on this IG, and we know Britney likes a big black smoky eye, right? But we've got like this big dirty black smoky eye all the time because, and I'm going to start here, her eyes aren't as far apart in new Britney on IG. This is my theory and only my Hez theory alone. There's other people out there, but I'll just start here. So her eyes are not, I'll just start here. Right? The voice, forget it. We'll get there because that's the hugest thing. Okay, so eyes not as far apart. Britney's very, very famous. She looks almost fetal alcohol syndrome. Her eyes are so far apart. I'm going to just go here. It's not going to be pretty, okay? Okay, so, and
take the wheel.
Just go back and look at old pictures. Like, it's very distinct. That's why her face is very distinctive. It's the eyes, okay? Then her neck. This is another Brit thing. She's very fit. We've always known that. She's very flexible. We know that. She's got a very stocky, sturdy body, yeah? But still with, and here's the thing, with kind of, and I know we change with age, so we'll get to that. She has a thick and strong, like almost like linebacker neck. She always has. It comes right below, and this is something I've always known. I'm like, look at that neck on that girl. It comes right from her ears down to her shoulders. Even when she's 18, even when she's 35, right? This new Britney, you always see her jaw above this little skinny neck, right? And
can
there's
you
no
get
way
plastic surgery to change that?
Not the neck, like not the sides of the neck. You can get the jowl. You can get the what's the thing underneath the come on, Ryan, give me a word. Like
double
how
chin?
you would with a rooster. Yeah, double chin kind of deal. Yeah, you can remove those things. Not
but
like
you're saying like the actual girth
sits.
of her neck.
Right. And she's got a veiny, muscled, because she's a fit. She works out all like forever. She's been a dancer since the beginning. It's a thing, and maybe even genetic, right? You can go back and look. Anybody listening can go back and look. Whatever. Okay, so that's eyes, neck, mouth. Huge one, but we all know that. She has a very large and wide mouth, all since the beginning of time, and its width is the main focus, and never mind the teeth, but that's a whole rabbit hole, right? Because of course
you have a whole rabbit hole about every tiny little facet. You're like, we haven't even gotten the voice yet.
Because I don't believe
just break down the neck.
Okay, never mind the dancing, but whatever. I don't believe that Brit on IG is Brit. I really don't. I don't.
Okay,
the accent's wrong. Let's get there. The accent is the hugest giveaway.
For me, the pieces that are kind of going together in this puzzle that I sort of ignored because I don't know Britney well enough to know if this isn't like her, is
Right.
that for one, she's always sunburnt like a fucking to a crisp. And
And she
and
never,
maybe
yeah.
she really, really loves suntanning or sunbathing, but to the point where, like, you're right, with the smoky eye, with the messed up hair, she often looks kind of disheveled and hungover, you know?
Always. And with the
And
jacked up
like,
hands, like lately with the
yeah,
boob
you said
shots,
she never
like
has a manicure. But to
never.
me, like, like I said, I'm new to her Instagram. I know she's under this conservatorship. So I just kind of assumed she's stuck at home all day, like,
She's
and
not
not in
though.
her life, that she's
She
just
just
fucking.
posted, was it 2 days ago? Oh, I went to Michael's and got some art supplies because I felt like painting. Guess what? There was a fucking nail shop right beside that Michael's. Like, step in there, Britt. You know, like, no, she's not quarantined in her home, right?
Well, she just
But
went to
here,
Maui too.
well, exactly. She's gone to Maui like dozens of times through the last 2 years. Like, she has a house there, I believe, and I don't know that for sure. Sorry, don't quote me. But she's there a lot. She loves Hawaii, whatever. But the shots we see on IG of her in Hawaii are actually old. They're always ancient shots of her in the surf and stuff. They're not recent at all.
Like, okay, so did you see the post she posted recently where she's petting the boar in Hawaii?
Yes.
It's a swipe through, and she says some weird ass shit saying, see, these are the real pictures. In the media, they edited my legs. See how it's different? I have no idea what she's talking about.
Yeah, there's a
That
kind of a stoutness to her now that, like, you can, okay, a great video to watch is when she re-announced her residency in Vegas in 2019. It is only 2021, okay? She showed up to re-announce. There was this huge hoopla. Ellen did a thing with her, which just go watch Britney recently on Ellen. It is not the same person that we're looking at on IG. Period. It's Britney. She shows up to Ellen, okay? So she's got, like, it's just in her way. She smiles at everything. Even when she's sad, she does a big open mouth, big tooth smile. She's done it since the beginning of the game. Even when she was upset and crying on, like, a talk show 20 years ago, she would smile through it. It's a Britney-ism to smile. This Britney on IG, I'm going to get upset here. I can't believe it. This Britney, oh no, ugly cry. Oh, no, just kidding. This Britney on IG never fucking smiles, and there's a reason for it, because it's not wide, it's not big, it's not Britney's smile. Even when she was on, what was it? It wasn't America's Got Talent. What fucking show was that she was on? I'm
Dancing
flipping
with
all
the
over.
Stars?
So no. She was a judge with Simon Cowell on one of those fucking shows.
America, the fuck.
Yeah, whatever. One of
You know,
those shows.
whatever.
Everybody
Okay.
out there knows. I don't, because I don't watch them, but I did.
American Idol?
No. It was like, anyway, like America's Got Talent
I didn't know
or
Simon
something
Cowell
like that.
was on something else, but
Yeah, he did another show too.
you know when
yeah.
you do see her smile is when she does dances and she spins, because I watched some of her videos today.
She
She'll like
likes to
quickly
spin.
smile, like when you can see it for a second, but she doesn't just smile wide into the camera a lot. You're right.
Yeah, and that's not Britney. Like, she's just like, she can't help but smile even when she's like fucked up. Like, it's just her thing, right? As a person, we have these isms, like, I don't smile like when I'm nervous, or like she does. She absolutely does. And even if she has veneers or whatever, since like the same shape and size of veneers since she's like 18 to 40, but now they're different and like janky as hell. She's got a British Book of Smiles now. Where the fuck did that come from?
Well, okay, and if the Instagram Britney is real Britney and she's that fucking wily and just honest and weird with her comments and her posts, it seems like she would tell us if she got new veneers. Like,
exactly, she would mention it. She wouldn't say, do I get baked lays or the real deal lays? Right? The burning questions of Britney, because everybody's asking what potato chip I like.
Right.
Right?
The voice in that video
Come the
particularly
fuck
was
on.
what convinced me. I was like, what the fuck is up with her voice? And it's
So
she's
not even the Sorry, I shouldn't cut you off, dude. But not
Oh
even
no,
the
it's
lip
fine.
smacking, the lip, the things you mentioned, that's nothing to me. That is all sus, but it's really about the accent. If you listen to the deposition, which is the only time we've heard Britney since the Vegas announcement of her, in my estimation, since the Vegas announcement that she did not speak at, by the way, in Vegas, people waited, crowds and crowds of people, hoopla, big jumbotron screens, music. Here comes Britney in balls of fire, and she walks through the crowd and gets into a limo. They wait for hours. I believe that was a protest by her. And if you look at it, it looks like Britney. It is Britney. She's got longer legs than the person that we see today. Like, that's the leg thing. That's why she commented on it before everybody else did. She's like, oh, they used to do a thing to my legs. These are my real legs. No, these are your. Thanks for showing your like hip
So
tattoos in
you said
every
that,
fucking
okay.
photo just to convince us to.
So you believe that post is to
Yes.
dispel any rumors before they can be
Right.
said by someone else.
Like a fake and dodge. So like whenever she does, and that'll happen a lot too. Also, the red bikini thing you were talking about, the red bikini
Yes.
recently. Okay, she's laying there with like a chest full of freckles, like you mentioned. She's sunburnt, she's freckled to the shit, right? So I did a little research looking back just 2 years ago when she used to go to Maui all the time back then as well. And there's a couple of moles, but zero freckles. Zero. So in 2 years, she's become tanning, freckling. Now, understood, she hasn't done anything else, so maybe she was just like, fuck it. I know that there's ways out of this, but
I'm someone who is so white. If I get sunburnt like that, I'm in pain for like 2 weeks. And so then I learn the lesson, don't fucking get sunburned again, wear sunscreen. I can't imagine, like, there's so many posts of her that red that she's got to be deliberately tanning herself. That's not like one sunburn mistake,
No.
And so
it's
it
kind
just
of a thing.
I have
Yeah,
a.
go ahead.
Can I have a quick? I want to here. Let me just do this real fast. But so I'm gonna. This is fucking fascinating. A. B. Why wouldn't we? So I hear all of this from, and I'm like way zoomed out, obviously, because I'm not as entrenched in this. I haven't done any research, much less deep diving research. So I have to look at this at a wide angle lens. That's just the position I have, right? So from a wide angle lens looking at this thing, why is it that, like, what about this current situation can't be explained by the fact that, like, I think we know that Britney is just like a deeply unwell person, and like, I need to do my caveat too, because I haven't said this. I like, whether or not I like Britney doesn't matter. Like, she's a human being and she should have rights like every other human being. And
Completely.
so all the like free Britney stuff, I'm obviously on board. I wouldn't care if she was just some chick from Arkansas or the most famous pop star of the 90s. Everyone deserves to be free, period. That is not even a conversation. So like, yeah. But that being said, I think it's pretty well documented that Britney is suffering from some like heavy duty mental illness, it feels like. And on top of that, it feels like she has been either medicated for that and or over medicated or improperly medicated. And like, it seems like it's starting to come out that like through the conservatorship, her mental health for a lot of different reasons has been in decline. So here's my question from a big wide angle lens, and like, you're kind of answering it piecemeal as we go along because you're pointing out these like physical differences and this and that. But
yeah,
like,
we're gonna get there. Yeah.
So why for a person like me, and I'm looking at this, and I'm for a person who like wants her to be a free individual, I like to think of myself as a relatively compassionate and empathic guy. And from that vantage point, I'm saying, why doesn't just someone who is in like pretty serious mental decline, who has essentially been a fucking entertainment slave her whole life, who's also aging into her 40s now, why doesn't that just natural course of her really fucking unfortunate circumstance explain all this stuff? Why this other totally, like, it does sound really like conspiratorial, it sounds very
yes.
like deep divey, like, it's like, why go for this totally other really wild explanation when for someone like me, again, who only has a wide angle, vantage point on this, it seems like the obvious answer is she's been in mental decline. She's just aging. She's not fucking 16 and, and singing Oops, I Did It Again. She's fucking 40 years old, right? So why aren't those things the explanation for this?
Okay.
Why isn't
can I jump in there, Auntie?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean,
Okay,
I have
perfect.
a reply too. I even wrote notes on what I want to say. So you go ahead. I won't forget.
Oh, you got the notes because I don't. So we know
exactly.
I
won't forget.
They might go away because I'm Britney 42. Okay, so I got that because I too was on that. Just believe what I see. Britney's in decline since I loved Umbrella Britney, but something snapped. It snapped again. She was now she's on meds. She's this is the real Britney, southern disheveled, shut in the this is just what's happening. She's older. This is what's going on.
Well, and also and really the big part of that I think maybe I didn't hit on hard enough, that she's essentially in a prison of her own house, right? She is a prisoner, right? So the real Britney is a prisoner of a conservatorship.
Yeah, but she does leave her house and she leaves it often, right?
Gotcha.
Here's what happens. So I'm watching. I'm like, oh, look at Britney. She's looking a little disheveled today. Oh, she looks gorgeous today. Oh, we got a little spinny, dancy Britney. Okay, that's great. Britney Spears is basically a choreographer, okay? What you have to do, the reason I started deep diving is because I'm in that industry and I know what it took for her to get there. I know her experience. I know that she ran the show for many years. She is not just some flaky, dumb bitch, right? That they portray her as. And she didn't become that in 2 years, regardless of whatever medications she's being doused with, right? So then I started to, and I'm seriously, I haven't thought, and they are conspiracies, and if I'm proven wrong, yay, you know what, it is what it is, but it's now become a little bit of a sideline hobby for me. I know that's insane, but because I really feel, and I love that Auntie mentioned Miley, and I always think, because Paris did know her, and people that do know her, and they're commenting their accounts are, anyway, I'll get off track here. I need to get back to the fact that the reason I started to look into is because I started to believe that wasn't her. I really just was like, wait, that's not even character like Britney. And the very first thing that tipped me off was the accent. She was born in Mississippi. She's from Louisiana. She is always, I can do this. I used to be an accent phonetics goddess. I will do a little bit. I can't do her whole accent, but she says doing all the time. And she says, say, nonsense, a word like that. She will say nonsense, like that, right?
Yeah.
This Britney on IG has none of this accent. I'll find some other words because I did write them down because this is really important to me. Oh, okay. In the deposition that recently, we heard the real Britney. So if you listen to that deposition, or I don't know what they call it for the conservatorship, but when she gave her testimony, that was a fierce Britney bitch, Britney. She went in there. She didn't mind in front of a judge swearing. Sure, she's always been a little bit her decorum is not, she was never taught these things. She's just been able to be Britney since the get, right? And she, so she's not, I wouldn't swear in front of a judge if I was there trying to impress them, but she didn't even bother to not be herself, right? I don't think she knows how to not be herself. So she's like, listen, my fucking family, she's talking this and she is powerful. She's not, I love God and donuts and I like J. Crew. She's not that girl. She just isn't. And everybody who knows her knows that. But anyway, so she will say things in the deposition accent-wise, like a Louisiana accent. And she will say things like, I'm able to go. I'm able to, right? Not able to. She says her T's in this IG. She never says her T's when she's talking. It's an accent variant, right? So that's huge for me. This person, and Auntie not even knowing her, felt it. this up here, Britney, up here, where she's always talking like that,
Yeah.
is a part of Britney's voice, but it is not like I have a weird voice, so I know
Right.
this.
You
talk
hear
up
times
like
where
this.
Brittany does
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
it's not all the time.
Not all the time.
That to me was that really tipped me the fuck off too. I was like, what the fuck is she doing?
Right.
Okay,
So
ladies,
do cut me off because I can go on and on, right? Like just
so
let me know what you want to know.
Let's do this really quick. So we're a half an hour in, and I think we have a new cycle of folks joining us. And just for the sake of stereo decorum, I'm going to say welcome to everyone. If you're just joining in, we're diving into to this idea that I don't think that here's what I want to get to, Hez, because we're a half hour in, and I think we've like Quentin Tarantino'd this thing, because I don't think that you've given us the flat out thesis statement. So like you dove in and you've kind of been like hunting and pecking at these little details that are evidence for the statement that you haven't just flat out said yet. So I want to just like zoom all the way out, and for the folks that are listening, tell us exactly, like, give me the broad brushstrokes. Give me you have 2 sentences to tell me what it is you think is going on here. Action.
Okay. Love the pressure. Great. How do you do when you have just a conspiracy about someone? It's so henpecky that I hadn't prepared a thesis statement. Thanks, Brian. But I can give you something. I want to get back to what Auntie had about what you asked as well. But I'll just tell you that I believe, and I don't know why. Here's I will state that. Why would I know why? But I believe that there's either, I don't believe that the Britney on IG is Britney. And I believe that is highly possible. And I don't know why it would be. But
when you say it's not Britney, you're not talking like ethereally. You're saying like it's literally another human being play acting Britney on her more recent IG videos and posts.
It's why we're showing tattoos ad nauseum. It's why she can't wear something without pulling down and going, see, it's really me. It's just all of it. I know. It's a conspiracy, dude, so you can't get me to say, because if I'm proven wrong, I will be very happy. And if she gets freed and she's out of this conservatorship, but everything about her screams, I am not Britney Spears to me. Everything.
Got it. And so to you, the like, oh, so then if that's true, then whatever like narrative that like some normie like me has been hearing isn't even mutually exclusive. Like it could still be true, the generalized narrative that like Britney's been under this abusive conservatorship, that she
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Like the real Britney truly is having some mental difficulties in these past years. All of that could be true.
Absolutely.
And for whatever set of reasons that maybe you'll dive into later, her Instagram feed is being manipulated by using essentially a body double, and you're just have been able to, through deep dives, point out and find what you think are like obvious flaws in the body double.
Yeah, and it did not just obvious flaws and deep flaws, not just physical flaws, but there are many.
Right.
But deep flaws, right? Like the accent is the deepest one. The girl doesn't know how to fake an accent, and she is just a Louisiana. Even on stage, you can hear in Vegas, which my daughter and I went to Vegas to see Britney Spears. Okay, that's how deep I go, and on stage, it's been taken off of YouTube. But she, at some point, just before the end of the first run, said, oh, I'm on a mic, and I'm in public, in her complete Louisiana accent. She's like, well, I wonder if I'll just start talking now. You know us Southern bitches. We'll just let you have it. Like, she is a tough bitch. She is not this little, I'm just going to portray what I believe that I did come up with what I believe why this might be happening is, yes, not mutually exclusive. There's some nasty shit that Britney talks about that is happening in her real ass life. She definitely sees her sons a lot more than she used to. There used to be posts of them. There hasn't been posts of them in ages. And even her son once it's been taken down, went on Twitter or somewhere and said, I'll tell you guys all the truth one day. And he was laughing. People know something, dude. Like something is fucking up. And I'll tell you why. I'll get this done, and then you can continue. The narrative is, with
This convo goes on for about another hour, but I won't subject you all to that today. I know I joked about Hez abandoning her music career and called Ryan a wannabe rock star, but I was just teasing them. They're awesome people. I love you both. If you want to hear the rest of our conversation, you can subscribe to my Patreon for only $5 a month, where you will receive 2 bonus episodes each month. You can also download the Stereo app to find my past live talks, or tune in to future talks, where you can participate in the show and send me voice memos in real time, as well as follow my friends Ryan and Hez. That's my show for this week. I'm Antisocial, and this has been the Antisocial Network. If you want even more access to me, Antisocial, follow me on Instagram at the Antisocial Network. Subscribe to my Patreon for only $5 a month at patreon.com/the Antisocial Network. And if you want to send me voice memos or to submit your own funny fake ad that I might use in my podcast, you can also download the Anchor app and find my show there. As always, new episodes are available in the free feed every week. See you next Wednesday. Later.
Think I'm a nice guy, but I'm antisociable, yeah. Antisociable.